To be famous, or do you want to be happy? Well, you know, when you're a young doctor or surgeon starting off, you're prepared, some people, especially males, are prepared to sacrifice everything to be famous, to get all the accolades, maybe a Nobel Prize, to end up in all the textbooks of school children of the future reading about you. But if you look back in history, all the famous doctors, I can think of Harvey or John Hunter, actually they end up being pretty miserable, pretty unhappy. So when you get a bit older, you think, you know, actually maybe I prefer happiness, you know. Okay, so how do we go about this, achieving this happiness? There's a whole industry in our society based around happiness, you know, happiness from accumulating money, success, through marriage, partners, being famous. So there's a whole industry, and certain books like this you can see based happiness on through religion. Okay, that's fair enough. But I came across this remarkable book from Oxford University Press by Nettle, and which is a scientific critique, or looks at the whole subject of happiness in a scientific way. And actually I got a lot out of it. I hope you will too. So who are the people who achieve happiness? Well, we have all these what we call pessimist philosophers like Wittgenstein and Nietzsche. They sort of seem to peddle misery throughout their life. But actually, when Wittgenstein was asked towards the end of his life, are you happy? He said, yeah, I am actually. They said, yeah, well, you sound pretty miserable during your life. He said, oh, no, I'm pretty happy. And actually, most people in most countries or societies say they are happy, which is a bit surprising, given some of the social misery that they may be living in. So, how do we achieve happiness? Well, one of the things is good health. So if you're in good health, you tend to be happier. This always comes out. There's a message coming through here, isn't it? The other, in terms of money, well, having a huge amount of money isn't a necessary thing. It's sort of relative wealth, actually. If you're wealthier than the Joneses or the people next door, you tend to be a bit happier. But what they really found is having high social status, and that usually goes with autonomy. So you can be earning a high income as a paid employee, but actually you're happier if you have autonomy. That's sort of small businessmen, yeah, doctors and private practice, you tend to be happier where you've got control over your financial status. They tend to be happier people. Okay, how about marital status? Yeah, you got to believe it, as being married, more so than certainly divorce and or cohabiting or being single. So married people tend to be happier. The other people that tend to be happier, extroverts, rather introverts or pessimists, or neurotics, always miserable, or always worried about things bringing misery upon themselves. And of course, living in stable social situations, free from poverty, major floods all the time, environmental, political insults, that is also correlated with a life of happiness. Now I'm going to bring up one surprising thing from page 84, and it's about image. Now girls, don't be attacking me on this one, but can your image, making yourself look good and healthy, well, they found actually with cosmetic breast surgery, it gave happiness to the women who had it, and this was enduring happiness with decreased psychiatric problems. So there you are, cosmetic breast surgery. There's one for the discussion. Now getting back to our main discussion. Natural selection drives us on and on. It's relentless. And as he said in this book, natural selection wants us to have lots of children and to be top of the social order, so we have stability. You know, in other words, we're not going to be thrown out of the cave, we have control over our situation. But it cares a little for our happiness. We keep seeking happiness. When we get that money, that beautiful wife, I'm happy, but not as happy as I thought I would be. Maybe I need a bit more money. Maybe I need that other person. So natural selection has us on this treadmill, always seeking. So in some ways, to achieve happiness, we need to be taught it. We need cognitive therapy, or, yeah, we need religion. We need to get some insight into our whole situation, away just purely from our biology. That's what comes out in this book. And actually learn, hey, you're not too badly off, you know, you got a good job, you got a nice marriage, you got a good income, you got some pretty good savings, you know, you should be happy and satisfied. So being satisfied with our environment, yeah, voluntary work, civic duty, not just giving over to our biology, you can achieve happiness. So a lot of this has a lot to do with doctors, hasn't it? You know, first of all, high social status. 2, autonomy, self-autonomy. You can have autonomy, you know, but private practice, you don't have to be kicked around all the time. Getting into a good marriage. So I think you'll find this pretty useful, this book, and I hope I've got some useful messages from you for you on this video. Good luck.